welcome. You are welcome to my wholesome family series. For this week, you are welcome. I'm glad to be here. I am still your Familynestacademy host, Princess Francisca Obi-Chimizie. You are welcome to today's series. And today we'll be talking about how to discover and address the hidden cracks in your family. The truth is that life has become so busy. When you join this life, kindly indicate. I look forward to having an interactive session today. Yes, hopefully today will be interactive. Hello, Esther. You are welcome. Welcome to this series of my wholesome family series. I see you. And if today is your first time of joining us, can you say first time? So you are welcome to my wholesome family series. And this is where we talk about family issues, matters that affect families, parenting and relationship with children, and building families that will stand the test of time, families that will conquer the challenges and the hidden problems that families face at this present time. So we are going to talk about today how to discover. How do you find out that something is happening, something is not right, or something is beginning to crack? So when we talk of a crack, you could imagine a wall beginning to have a hidden breakage. You are not able to see it, but it's already happening inside. Welcome everyone on this wonderful series on how to discover and handle cracks in your family. And like I said, it's going to be an interactive session. If you have any question, kindly ask and be patient. Once I see it, I will find a way to incorporate it in the conversation. So I was trying to narrate when a building starts cracking. Most times, you don't see it immediately. It happens inside before you begin to see it. So imagine a crack on the wall. You can try to assume or imagine different types of cracks. There are tiny ones, there are huge cracks, and there are ones, Andrew, you are welcome, hello. There are huge cracks that if care is not taken, if immediate attention is not given to that crack to amend it, it will cause that building to crumble. So you see fences that crumble. They didn't just start. They didn't just happen. There have been cracks on that fence that was not taken care of. And then they suddenly give way. So when we talk of building or discovering the cracks in the family and how to handle them, we are talking about those issues that eat up the family. Those things that happen that we don't really take cognizance of, or we don't identify them early. And then suddenly, you see a family giving way, giving up. You are hearing of divorce, you are hearing of separation, you are hearing of children becoming rebellious to parents. Things have been going underground that were not identified early. And this is us coming to have that discussion. How do I realize that something has started happening, something is going on? Okay? And what do we do early enough to ensure that these cracks, these problems don't eat up into the family to destroy the family? So our focus today is building a stronger families that will finish well. I usually tell a story of how when we got married, we had this vision and interest, right? There's this zeal, and it's common in every marriage, in every family starting up. You see couples, they are excited about their life together, what they will do, what their aspirations are. And then along the line, of course, because they didn't anticipate it, they didn't expect it, challenges come, children come along, need that needs to be met. And of course, it's normal to be focused on trying to meet up responsibilities. So it's in the midst of all those coming up that realize that you are tearing apart, families are going far apart without even knowing it. Mom and dad comes, Danish, you're welcome. Mom and dad comes home from the day job, they are exhausted. Naturally, without even knowing, they become irritable. They are unable to give maximum attention to children. Children begin to withdraw, begin to find alternative source of bonding and connection. I've had a conversation with a young person who kept seeking for friendship from people she didn't even know online. And what was her need? Simple. Her mom and daddy were busy to have a conversation. So I asked her, have you tried to approach them so they understand your need for interaction? Because it's her nature. She's a sanguine. She likes communicating. She likes interacting. But mommy and daddy, we are not there. She reported that she felt that they are already too busy. She didn't want to add to their burden. Why am I telling this story? Sometimes our children need our attention, or there's something they really want to have a discussion about, but we are busy, right? So these are the cracks that comes gradually. It's not that we don't have interest to pay that attention to them, but because we are exhausted at the end of the day. So we move. Our focus today will be how to discover and address these hidden cracks. How do you realize that something is beginning to happen? Family rarely collapse from one big storm, like I said, but small cracks that are left unattended to. So, as a parent, you have a partner, your wife or your husband. You people communicate, you try to bond, but along the line, stages of life, phases of life, challenges of life, you are trying to do more job. You are even taking extra shift for those in diaspora, right? While those who just do 9 to 5, they come back home. There are a lot of things to do at home. So you discover, hi, Sammy, you are welcome. You discover that people have become busy. That when a husband comes back, all he wants is to have a shower and eat and rest, which is quite understandable. He has had a hectic day. And then the wife, who wants to be communicated to, feels like he's beginning to ignore her. And sometimes you even see that women will start suspecting and start thinking, are you sure there's no other person out there? And there was something I wrote some time ago about how thoughts can be whispered to ears, especially women, and you nurture it. without realizing that it's eating up into your heart, into your mind, even into your health. And it's not that it's real, but because you did not call the attention of your partner to have this discussion, you decide to brood upon those negative thoughts. Before you know it, they will begin to tear the family apart. Okay, so cracks are not like something big happen, maybe the woman cheated or the man cheated. Most times it's not even that. Before it even gets to that point, sometimes is because the crack has already started happening. So when a man feels that the wife is no longer there, he finds an alternative. When a woman feels the man is not there, she finds an alternative. We are not here to explain away or give excuse to infidelity. We are trying to say that there are things that must have been happening underground, unidentified, or maybe identified but not addressed. So you see, they begin to eat up the family. They begin to tear up the family. They begin to form a crack in the wall of the family. However, why we are here today is to remind us that cracks can be repaired before they collapse. That there is a crack is not a death judgment. That does not mean there is no hope again. It only means that there is something to attend to. There is something to pay attention to. There is something that must be handled before it escalates. But how will you know that something is already going on without paying attention? Okay? So, what are different cracks that can be identified in our families? One, I would say, dream disconnection. So you see, families that don't share common dream or vision have more tendencies to separate, to crack, to scatter. Common vision has a way of connecting and building families. Because when you have a common vision, you have common interest. It brings you together pursuing one common goal. You have more time of conversing, interacting around your vision, reviewing, analyzing, and making amendments. In that way, you discover that you have more time to connect with each other, more time to talk. Because sometimes we don't have common dreams, we don't have common visions. So you see husband pursuing his own dream, wife pursuing her own dream, children doing their own thing, because nothing brings them together at the table. Okay? Everyone lives as a flatmate. So when you come, the wife is with phone, the husband is with phone, children are left with laptop, their own phones in their own separate rooms. These are the cracks that if they are not addressed, they will cause problem in the homes. It has become so common that you see families on the dining table, each with their phones. In fact, it has become so normal that people don't see anything wrong with that. But there is so much wrong that you are within the home, in the house, and you are not having serious conversations. You are not gisting. You are not even making jokes around what is happening around you, because they have a way of connecting us. Your vision is what helps you talk about your common goal, your common dream, your faith, things you want to do together. You make plans together. Like I said, they have a way of connecting us. Okay? Now, the question I would ask, when did we last as a family dream together? When last did you and your household have a common pursuit that keeps bringing you together to talk, to negotiate, to ask about each other's welfare, to know how each other is faring with their own part of the deal. When was the last time? Put it down and make a commitment. Find something common to pursue as a family. If you don't have a family vision, establish a family vision. If you don't know how to establish a family vision, visit our videos where we have talked about extensively how to build a family vision. All right? Now, what other cracks can you find in homes? Emotional distance. Emotional distance. So you see, busy life has separated us so much that we are in the same space, but we are not connected. So couples are in the same room, but their hearts are far apart from each other. Children and parents are in the same house, but they are disconnected wide miles apart. Children cannot confidently come to their parents to share their fears, their concerns, and what their need is, because that connection. See, if we don't bond with our children, it will only take a time when they will relegate us to one side and start seeking for those whom they will feel comfortable connecting with. And where will they be found? With their peers. So that's where you see children indulging and giving in to peer pressure, because those are the people they feel at home with, they feel comfortable with, they feel connected with. If you don't give that space for bonding with your children, what you are doing is you are giving out your power of influence, your power of connection, your power to influence what your children does to another source. You are outsourcing your bonding responsibility as a father, as a mother. So emotional distance is something every household must consciously work on, because it can go a long way to either build the family or scatter the family. So you realize that kids are left to their gadgets. The little time, I know, like I've said, we are busy. The little time we have to share how our day went, know how the children are doing, is the time we are on our phone trying to screen through. I know you want to catch up with what has happened, what is trending, or what you have missed during the day. But please, your first duty should be to bond with your children. Those people on social media does not know you exist. Even if they do, they don't have any ability to keep your home together. In fact, they will only contribute. Amanda, you're welcome. They will only contribute to putting a distance, a gap between you and your children, and even your life partner, which you should fight with all your might. Okay? So you must make sure that there is a time to regulate the gadget that is used at home, a time for bonding. Talk about anything, even if it's 5 minutes. Let your children know that you are consciously working on connecting to them. Let them know that they are important and your time is there for them to come and talk to you. Share their burden, share their concern, share their fun, their interests, whatever they found. See, children like talking the same way we say women like talking. They like having conversations. Even if you think what they are saying at that point doesn't make sense, depending on their age, still give them that impression that you are there to pay attention. What you are doing is making them know that you are always there for them. You are building that confidence of availability of parents for them to always comfort, so that even when they are in trouble, they know that mommy and daddy are available to pay attention and to support them. All right? Then we must also be very, very careful to be present and present parents. Some of us, we are present, but our presence are not felt. When you have children that you need to come back to, for those of us that our children have not all gone out, make it a core duty to be present whenever you are around. Because I've seen parents, they are in the house, but their children are far away from them. Even in the same house, their children are at home playing with their own gadgets. They are in another room doing their own thing. Can your children feel your presence? Can you come play with them, gist with them, have a conversation? Can they feel your presence? Can they come to you asking for support, for help, for what they think is troubling them without feeling that mom or dad is not emotionally there? Don't let them feel emotionally distanced from you, because you will be pushing them away to the wrong hands. See, most of the children that go into addiction outside the exposure from home, maybe seeing someone that is constantly taking medications or someone who is already addicted. Another thing that pushes children into addiction is when they are given a sense of acceptance and approval outside that they don't feel at home. So when they feel distance from their parents at home and then they go out there, there is someone who gives them that impression that they are welcome, they can be themselves, they can do whatever they want to do. Sense of home, belonging, a false sense of belonging, acceptance and approval. And these people uses this opportunity to introduce these things to your children. Introduce devices to your children. And some, they give them condition. If they have to be their friends, they need to do this. They need to follow them to do this. And you see these children complying because that's where they've been given a sense of acceptance. And they don't want to go out of that safe space per se, what they presume to be a safe space. So, my question to us this evening is, when was the last time you had heart-to-heart conversation with your children, with your family, a genuine heart-to-heart conversation where everyone is able to connect, open up, interact, gist, even make fun of each other? When was the last time? Or is your life so busy that you are not able to engage with your children as required? These things are intentional. We are always tired. We are always exhausted. The job we do tends to drain us because we have to work to get the money we are being paid for, isn't it? But you need to know that your major and primary business is your home. You can lose that job, but never lose your home. Okay? Then what are the other cracks? Silent conflict. I'm sorry I'm not able to share my slide. Okay? I'm still working on that, but to save our time, I will keep teaching. So, silent conflict. I know some people don't like arguments. Some don't like confrontation. People like me. But we are not saying you must confront someone. We are not saying you must argue or you must have a loggerhead with your partner. But never keep silent on issues. Never sweep conflict or misunderstanding under the rug, because it never goes. Because it's under the rug, it will keep accumulating dust. It will keep building up. One day, The way people react to dust, that's how it will spread all over the house and everybody will be sneezing. That is what conflict that is swept under the rug does to a household. That is how it builds up cracks. So when there is a situation to talk about, to handle, when there is something to negotiate, you need to thank you, my husband. My husband is here. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming around to our live session. And yes, when there is an argument, try to, of course, calm yourself down. If you think it will escalate, give yourself time, give yourself space. It's not an emergency. But don't get to the point where you have to raise hands on each other, break things, show a level of agitation or aggression. No. Neither should you hide it and try to buckle it and try to keep it so that there won't be problem. Let there be peace. No. Create a time of conflict resolution. Try to create a space in your home for your children where if anyone feels aggrieved or feeling like she's distressed, maybe there's a conversation she needs to have and she thinks if she talks or says something at that point it will cause conflict or cause fight, let them go to that side and try to do emotional regulation exercises like the 1 minute counting, the deep breathing, and every other exercise that helps them calm down. Okay? And then find a conducive time to talk about it. So talk about your conflict. Talk about your misunderstandings. Never sweep them under the carpet. And parents' tension, you need to understand, affects children. Some children will not talk to you as a parent, but they are seeing what is happening. They are looking, they are watching. I've had a child come into the hospital and I was having a conversation with him. Whatever I was asking him, he was the one telling me how mommy and daddy does this and that. I was in that child, I think he was like 4 years then. And I have also seen a child watching the parents arguing, and she was asking the dad, why are you talking to my mom like this? So what are we saying? These children are seeing. No matter their age, they are seeing. So we are not saying you should try to pretend. No, we are talking about real conflict resolution. You should even teach them how to negotiate, how to reconcile, how to talk about misunderstanding so that they don't go out practicing aggression and agitation or hiding their feelings, because it will build up over time. You will see them bursting out and overreacting, and you'll be wondering where it's coming from. We are learning from us. So we should learn how to ease off the tension at home. Let your tension not affect your children. Learn emotional regulation. That's why we teach emotional intelligence. Find emotional intelligence courses. Read books on emotional intelligence, on how to manage your emotions, because they are important in helping our children learn how to also regulate their own emotions. You see, some things we do is not just about the immediate result. It's about the culture. It's about what we are building in the children of next generation. So when you have misunderstanding, don't build a tension around your home. Ease it off. Talk about it. Solve it. Move on. Forgive one another. Don't let your children feel that tension in the air. You can feel tension if you come into a home or an environment where there has been a conflict. You will feel it. And that's how our children are groomed in a tense environment. So don't raise children or bring them into your tense situation, because it will affect their emotions. It will also affect even their performance, their academic performance, because if they sense mommy and daddy are struggling or are fighting, they carry it as a burden in their mind. When they go to school, it starts playing in their mind. Sometimes you will see them phasing out. Sometimes you see them looking into space. They are replaying what has been played at home. So let's save our children. Those cold wars at the dining table, where you are eating your own food, husband is eating his own, wife is eating her own, children are eating her own, nobody is talking to anybody. Your dining table should be a place where you commune, where you talk about deep things, where you review your day, where you have deeper discussion concerning things that matters to your family. It should not be a silent zone. Yes, we know the culture of don't talk when you are eating. No, don't talk when you have food in your mouth, but chew your food and talk. Because sometimes we are too busy to talk. So once you have that opportunity on the table, on the dining table, create an atmosphere of interaction with your children. Let everyone feel they are able to have a conversation and contribute and share how their day went. They are able to understand that yes, this is a home where I can lift my burden, where I can talk about the stress of the day, where I can talk about the challenge of the day, and everybody has their ears open to listen. So no more silent conflicts. And my question is, do we resolve issues quickly, or do we let them simmer into silence? That's the question left for you to answer. How do you respond to conflict in your home? Do you pile up list of wrongs, grievances, and strife, and allow them to heap up, and then the tension escalates in the atmosphere? You even give the devil room to penetrate your home when you allow such to build up. So anytime you have misunderstanding, like I said, talk about it. Forgive one another. Move on. Nobody is perfect. We will keep offending each other. Let me bust your bubble. There is no relationship free of offense. None exists. No matter the kind of couple you see, they only know how to cover up their conflict or how to resolve it. These two things. Those couple you think they are happy, is either they are genuinely happy because they know how to resolve their conflict, or they are faking it because they are covering it up. But it will only take a matter of time. So let's find an opportunity to always solve our problem and negotiate. Okay, so now we have identified the cracks and the areas where these cracks are seen. The question is, what do hidden cracks look like? I already said, sometimes it doesn't look like a big picture of trouble hovering around the home. Sometimes it's just those quiet, gentle things here and there. So I have in my list silent conflicts that nobody wants to talk about. It's just a summary because we talked about it. Emotional distance, even where people are living together. They are not emotionally connected. They are just flat sharers, flatmates, roommates, where wife cannot talk to their husband what is troubling them, where husband cannot share his burden because he feels the wife will not understand, where children are not free to express themselves. Loss of shared laughter, dreams of values. So you can see that people have dreams, they have visions, but they cannot share it because they don't feel at home. So the question we want to ask, what are the things that can be done so that cracks are taken care of before they escalate? I know I've mentioned some of them. I will repeat those options so that we are able to document and remember. One, we should have a vision, a common vision, a common dream, that we talk about these things that if our family is pursuing, what is the interest of our family? And because Familyness Academy, we are here to help you discover and fulfill God's purpose for your life. This is us saying, when a family has a common vision, discovers their purpose, it helps them have a common pursuit. And when you have a common pursuit, it's easier to connect. It's easier to keep your home together. It's easier to discover when things are going wrong. And it's easier for you to intervene because everyone feels they are part of the family. Everyone feels they belong. If I go to a system where I think I'm not acceptable, I don't belong, I will keep my distance. Even if I have ideas to share, I will feel unsafe because I am uncertain how my opinion will be taken, if it will be accepted or if it will be declined. But when I'm in a system, like in my organization, right? I'm a team member. So I know the common interest is to make sure that this is achieved. It's easier for me to come, contribute my opinion or my quota, knowing that every team member is interested in achieving this dream. So we are playing a team play when we establish a vision for the home. So it's your responsibility as parents to ask yourself, what has God called us to be and to do as a family? Or you can even take up a project that you know every member of the family will come together to work on. The project don't have to be so much a huge project. Maybe it's something simple. We want to visit the motherless home so time. You call your first son, make arrangements, those whom you think can help us with transport. You find your first daughter, can you call the motherless home and find out the time for that will be conducive for us to visit? You tell your other daughter, can you make estimates on how much it will cost us and the things we will need to get? You call your first child, can you be the one to make arrangements to go shopping with mommy and daddy? What did we just do? We shared responsibility towards a vision, towards a goal, towards a dream. Now everybody has something going on. You create time to, okay, what have you done so far? What have you done so far? Can you tell us the challenge you are facing? Can you tell us what we need to do? You are talking, you're having a conversation. Chris Truth Graham, hi, you are welcome. So we are still talking about the cracks that breaks homes, right? That how to discover these cracks and how to address them. And we are talking about vision, having a common vision as a family. And when you have a vision, you are able to build together. Then we talk about conflict resolution. Do we hide our grievances? Do we hide our conflict? Do we hide those things we don't like that is happening? And then decide to buckle them up, try to manage, and then they build up, and one day we burst. You see some homes breaking because they don't have the culture of talking, negotiating, resolving the conflict amicably without having to raise voices, trying to assault or abuse one another. There must be a way of getting your family resolve their conflicts in a peaceful way. That way, everyone understand that this is not allowed. You cannot be aggressive. You cannot be abusive while you have misunderstanding with one another. You can only see, as a family, there should be a policy, there should be a rule. Because you're welcome, Chris, for joining us for the first time. Welcome. Grace Wine Ventures, you're welcome, my darling sister in love. Good to have you on this session. Thank you for coming around. So I was saying, as a family, you should have a policy or a rule for handling conflicts. What it does is that everyone already knows that this is what is acceptable and this is what is not acceptable. And this is the consequence. So when you set up a rule, your children grow up into it. So they understand, when I'm angry, I don't have to shout, I don't have to hit. I cannot raise my hand to hit. I don't have to fight or quarrel. When I have grievances, I should negotiate, find the time to ask for opportunity to talk about what I'm not happy about. So whatever you think is acceptable in your home, set it as a rule. It may take a time to register. It may take a time for your children to adapt. But you are starting somewhere. It will save your family from siblings rivalry. A lot of us, if we experience what siblings rivalry means, you will understand why it is important to resolve conflicts amicably. So I came from a background where my dad and the brother were not in they were not amicable at all. But I realized it didn't start as adults. It started when they were young. They were not taught how to negotiate, how to talk about their misunderstanding and make peace that day. They were fanned. The conflict were fanned. So you see, they have quarrel, they shout, they carry it all over. The following day, they continue. They will go and talk about it to their own mama, and then it escalates. But when you set a rule, no matter the age of the children, and they are able to grow into it, understand that they don't carry the misunderstandings from home to outside. It has to be resolved at home. One, they must not raise hands or voices at each other to resolve conflict, because it doesn't resolve conflict. It actually escalates it. Right? They must... Oh, Sis Emily, you are welcome. Good to have you in this house. Thank you so much for coming around. So when you set a rule, make sure they stick to it. And make sure if anyone breaks the rule, there's consequence. By the time they face the consequence consistently, they will know, oh, this is serious. And then they are able, it's not about the consequences, it's the ability to help them align to what is obtainable. And you are able to establish a peace policy. Because a conflict resolution policy is a peace policy. In other words, we are saying, when we have conflict, we have to find a way to make peace. And peace is what is obtainable and acceptable in our home. Not grievances. Not people bearing grudges. You are setting a standard that your children will grow into. Because it's easy to do it while they are young than when they get old. Okay? So, that's for conflict resolution. It should not be hidden. It should not be swept under the carpet. You should talk about it. Negotiate about it. If someone offends the other, let them apologize. Teach your children how to say sorry. By you being the role model, how do you say sorry to your children? When you know you have offended them, Sometimes, how do you say sorry to them? Do they see you apologize when you are wrong, or you always claim right? Mr. No wrong. So when you teach your children how to apologize, you are modeling to them how to resolve conflicts by saying sorry to the offended. So in your rule, let the person who has offended the other apologize. Is not negotiable. Because beyond the home, you are teaching them a powerful skill for building a better social life outside the home. Thank you, everyone. So, how else do we build this crack? We talked about emotional distance. I know we are busy. Oh, life has become so busy that even when you are not busy, your phone, the social media will keep beeping on you. We want to keep you busy. But we need to consciously plan how to work on our emotional connection. If we must build a home or repair any crack in our homes, if we must raise homes that will not break or scatter, we must work on emotional connection. We must work on our family bonding. What are the bonding activities you have for each day, for each week, for your family? It's something you must intentionally do. Like I said, you will come back from work, you're exhausted, you are tired, but your children still need your time. And let me tell you the truth, the time you spend to them is a what more valuable investment than the one you spend making money. I know you are making money, you are going to get salary, you are going to get money from that business to take care of them. But I want to tell you that the one you invested with them is the long-lasting investment that is very worthy of it. Because you are not just bonding or spending time, you are imprinting values into your children. Because when you are bonding, it's an opportunity to teach, it's an opportunity to share family values, family visions and missions. It's an opportunity to model the kind of character and traits you want to see them grow up into. It's an opportunity to key in one or two things or tips you want them to grab, which schools will not do for us, social media will not do for us, cartoons, all those things we give to replace parenting will not do for us. So if you are the type, when you are at home, you are on your gadget and you give your children tab, phone, laptop to keep them busy, if tablet has become your assistant parenting, please, you need to sit down and understand the implication that when you are distanced from your children emotionally, you are giving up your authority of influence. You are giving it away to whatever you allow them to spend time with. So if they are spending time on cartoon, Cocomelon, Mr. Pig, and all that, what you will be hearing most times from them is, Cocomelon did this, what's their character names again? JP did this, all of that. Or Mr. Pig did it. What is this telling you? You are filling them up with things that will not matter to their destiny. Why you are relegating yourself on the background? A time will come where your voice will not matter to them. What will matter to them is what you've exposed them over time. So I was having a conversation with some group of people, yes, about what plays in our mind when we watch something over and over. In fact, even few minutes, if you just watch a movie now or listen to music, what happens to your subconsciousness in the next few minutes? It will be replaying. So that is what we are doing to our children. We allow them on the screen and their brain is recording and registering everything they are seeing. As they are sleeping or when they are no longer with the screen, those memories keep ringing, rereading, just like computer. And then your influence, what you would have used to build their own memory, is being reduced, like lessened, while the one from the screen is building up. So choose what you want. Do I want to spend my whole life making money and then losing my impact, my influence on my children to the world system? I used to tell people in diaspora like us, where they entice us with extra shifts and extra money, right? A time will come when these children you think you are making money for will not value your money, because they would have grown to also know how to make their own money. But they will not forget those memorable moments you have with them, those moments that you shared with them, those moments you sat on the floor playing with them, doing activities with them, going to the park with them. They will not forget it. It's something that will register in their mind. Those moments where they know they could come and talk and mommy and daddy will listen, they will not forget it. But those toys you bought them, I can't even remember those bought for me, but I could remember those moments my mom, my dad will call me Nwa and say one or two things. So what are we saying? Invest on what is more worthy. Build your emotional connection. Fill the emotional bank of your children, because the more they are full, the more they are able to become better emotionally and even mentally. I work in a system where most of them have grown up from a crack emotionally connected home. So children grow up feeling that they were not loved or appreciated the way they feel they needed. They had government support. Of course, parents are giving money to take care of them. They have what they need and all that. But they felt parents, either mom or dad, was not emotionally there. So you see them keep seeking for emotional revalidation. And we call them emotionally unstable personalities. So what we are saying is, some of us raise children and they turn out being emotionally starved. So they seek for emotional connection, revalidation, and affirmation from outside the home. And this is where we expose them to vices, where we expose them to addiction, where we expose them to negative influences. Because what they don't get from the home, they will look for it elsewhere. Don't raise children who will be emotionally hungry. Don't raise children who will feel that there was something more they needed from us, but we were not available. Even though from our own angle, we are thinking we are doing our best. Whatever it takes us as we conclude, build the emotional bank of your children. Make sure, another thing is that you are building based on their perception of that love. Because there is something we call love language. So the way I perceive love will not be the same way another person does. So if I'm beginning to show love to this person whom I feel, okay, I like gifts, let me buy gift for her or him. As far as it's not his emotional language, his love language, he will not appreciate it the same way someone like me who loves gifts will appreciate it. So we need to understand the love language of every of our children and be able to relate with them based on that need. Don't think your children are asking for too much if they keep asking for your attention. Give them that attention, because if you don't, something else will take that attention. Don't give that attention to something else. Even if it's you want to cook, just create 5 minutes, sit down. When your children are saying, "Mommy, hug me, mommy, carry me," and you are tired, please, with your tiredness, carry them. Let them know, "Oh, I'm tired, but let me just carry you for a minute. Oh, okay, I've carried you now, let me keep you." Just try. Don't ignore them. I did a course last year on emotional unstable personality disorder. So most of them were traced to childhood, right, where children were not emotionally satisfied. So this example they gave, a woman who lost her husband. So you know what it means, the need, the demand of the children. I think she had 3 children, and then she's working too. So she has to come back home, she needs to cook, she has her laptop, she's trying to meet up with deadlines and all that, and the children are crying, asking for support. And the woman, out of exhaustion, most times she's agitated, she's shouting, and then these children grew up being needy. Will you blame the woman? No, the woman was also needy. Someone carrying that responsibility. However, that trauma was pushed down to the children who grew up lacking emotional satisfaction. So you see them, they're always in need. Okay? So another course I did this year was talking about, sometimes you meet people at the workplace and they always want affirmation or for you to revalidate them. And sometimes you'll be like, why is she always asking me if she did this right or not? Why is she never okay with what she did? These are traumas, but we don't see them as they are. So a lot of our children, even when they grow up, they are struggling. They are struggling, but we don't see it as struggling. They become a burden in their team. So they need to be pushed to do things. They need to be encouraged to do things. They lack self-will and self-motivation. You think it just came up as an adult too? No. These are things that happened as young children. They are not able to outgrow. So you discover a child who grew up, especially girls, who grew up not having attention of her dad the way she wanted, will grow up going after men. She will grow up seeking affirmation and validation from men. These are the kind of children who grow up as an adult and stay in a relationship that they are being abused. They are the kind of children, when they become adults, they marry their abusers. Because those abusers will abuse them and now come and pet them and say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Hi, I love you. I beat you out of anger." They will go back. You think it's because they don't have sense. Their sense has been taken away out of the trauma they experienced as a child. Your youngest like to be carried. Yes, please, carry her very well. I have them in my house too. "Mommy, carry me." But these are the things you need. Carry them, even if you are tired. Carry them from wherever to the bed, to the chair. "Okay, I've carried you. Can you give me 1 minute?" Buy time for yourself for that thing. But you need to fill that emotional gap. And yes, because we don't want to overshoot our time, I want to appreciate us for joining this conversation. It's been quite enriching, I believe, and I hope you have gained value. If you have gained value, let me know so that I'll be encouraged to come live next week again. So what we want to achieve is that at the end, every family will be able to establish a home that is well taken care of, that you are able to see the cracks, the gaps, and that you are able to intervene early enough before things go wrong. Children who grow up in an intentional home are able to be prepared for the future more than children who grow up in homes where their emotional needs and every other need are not paid attention to. I want to encourage us. We are doing our best. It's not easy being a parent in this time and season. You will answer question tired. So it's not easy at all. But I want to encourage us. Let's keep being open to learning, being open to what God is doing in our families, and being intentional to give it the best shot. Your reward is knowing that you are not just raising children who will just grow up to make money, have good certificate, and be good children. No, you are raising seeds for the next generation. You are collaborating with God to raise destinies. So you need to see those children as investment, or as destiny investment for eternity. So it's not about your reward here on earth. It's also about the reward that God is able to give you for collaborating with him to raise these children, because they are precious seeds. The Bible said that the reason why God brings husband and wife together is to raise godly seeds. And we are raising children who will be godly in this generation that is full of darkness, and they will still shine their light. So we are not raising ordinary children, and that's why we cannot be careless with our homes. Whatever investment you need to do on your knees, with learning, with discoveries, do your research, pray, study, invest in teachings like this. Please sow that seed, because it empowers you to be able to do what is expected of you, and your children will turn out well. You see, everything fear comes with uncertainties, because you don't know what to do. But if you are working with God and in alignment, you will realize that this light, that you know you are on the right path. So this is me inviting us to Familynestacademy. Check our teachings on families and follow us on sessions like this. Share to other families. Let us all come together to build families who understands their assignment in this generation, who are able to discover and fulfill their purpose and make heaven proud. And this is me, Princess Francisca Obichimeze, your humble founder of Familynestacademy, and it's my pleasure being an instrument of impact. Do have a lovely night rest, and thank you for joining this live. I see all of you, Grace, Fine, Esther, all of you, Sammy, Sister Emily, my darling husband. I cannot call all the names I'm seeing here, but I really celebrate us and I appreciate us. And as many of us as are trusting God for a powerful family, I don't want to say a perfect family, we are all building onto perfection, that God will cause his light to shine upon your homes. God will grant you the wisdom, the strength, the insight, the open doors, so you have the resources required to raise children that will bring you proud and also make heaven proud. Thank you once again. I don't want to close this session, but we need to go and rest. I will see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.